In terms of your starting off as a businessman, I mean, it was quite humble. I mean, you've done a million jobs over the years. What is the deal you're most proud of? Because it doesn't have to necessarily be for 10 million, does it?
Exactly. No, you're quite right. I mean, I think that, you know, there's kind of milestones in your life, isn't there, really? And, you know, I guess if you go back and you follow me through the book there and you see that I had 2 or 3 jobs in the electronics business and then ventured out very boldly, you know, to go on my own. Yeah. And I guess, you know, I still see it today, that very, very first sale that I made, most probably for about £4 or something like that, or £6 for 6 car aerials to Mr. P.W. Thaxton in East India Dock Road. That was the first trade sale I made as Amstrad to a trade customer. I mean, that was, and then, you know, go and move on, I don't know, 20 years from there to 1987, say, and you know, I'm selling £100 million of goods to Dixon's. You know what I mean? So, is that a great achievement? You know, of course it was. Maybe the first time I brought a computer out, and when I saw it, you know, you develop the computer, you think it's good, you know it's good, your people tell you it's good, we're all enthusiastic about it, but you know who makes the decision as whether it's good or not? It's the public. And so when you stick it in the shops, and then bingo, suddenly they start calling you up and say, send some more of this stuff down here, then you've made it, you've hit it, you know. So there's lots of those kinds of moments, but they don't necessarily have to, you quite rightly said, doesn't have to be the biggest deal that you've done. Yeah.
And what about being a star now, Lord Sugar? Because of course everybody knows you because of The Apprentice. Almost your business life is irrelevant. We like you for the man who says you're fired. Do you see that as a compliment that we know you for that, or do you wish we knew more about your business dealings?
Well, I mean, the thing is, the book gives the opportunity of knowing more about me. I mean, I'm realistic, okay? I was known in the city in the 80s as this rags to riches story, Margaret Thatcher's, you know, kind of dream, really, of what she wanted. And then, of course, I got involved in football, and I was known there. So this kind of fame, or whatever word you want to call it, is not exactly new to me, although, to be perfectly blunt, it is big. Of course, it's much bigger, and I can understand why the general public at large, if you stopped them in the street, said, Alan Sugar, this oldie Apprentice, right? If you pushed them a little bit more and said, is there anything else you know about him? They'd say, well, football. And if you pushed them even harder, they'd say, oh, he's the bloke who brought computer to the masses. Yeah. So it's not new. It's not new to me, and so it doesn't come as a bit of a shock. But it is. It's very pleasant to be recognised by the youngsters, in particular, for the awareness that the show has made of business and got them inspired. And that's what I enjoy about it.
Is it fun?
I would only do it if it's fun, and I would only do it if it's bringing results and inspiring young people. The day that don't happen is the day you don't see me anymore.
What about the comparisons to you and Donald Trump? Because, of course, he's your compadre the other side of the Atlantic who does The Apprentice. Are you similar as people, or can you be totally different but equally as successful?
Well, look, I don't know Donald Trump at all. I've spoke to him once for a very short period of time over a telephone. So it'd be completely unwise of me to, form any opinions from that. And I've learnt in life you do not... you do not form opinions by listening to others.
Right.
So, you know, you form your own opinions. Look, Donald Trump was the first one to do this in America. It was the format was invented in America. The American market, as we know, culturally is completely different to United Kingdom, and he does and did a good job on The Apprentice there. They sent his program over here to England. They put it on BBC Two. It didn't go down too well, I think it's fair to say. My one, because I am adapted to the English culture and the English way of life, has been a success. So you see, both people very successful, doing the same thing but in a different marketplace. So
Well, I find his hair so distracting. That's the problem with the American version, isn't it? You're in a league of finance that basically you don't have to worry about the first class ticket. You can buy the plane. You don't worry about staying in a 5-star hotel. You can buy the hotel. If we were to go out and have fun, what would make you happy? What would be a good day out for me and you?
Well, I'll go on my bike somewhere, and get out in the countryside on a nice ride on a day which is not too hot and not raining. Find new routes there. I'll take my plane up, a little plane up for a fly, and go and visit somewhere in France or something like that. I mean, that's the type of thing that I do. Or I'd watch, and I'd come home and watch some TV program that I'm interested in, or go to a football game. I mean, I'm a very simple fellow,
And if we were to have a dinner together, what's your favourite bite to eat?
Oh, well, I've always loved Italian food. I suppose it is the best. It is really, as far as I'm concerned, the Italian food is the best. I don't go for all this nouveau cuisine stuff and all that Gordon Ramsay stuff with all these twigs sticking up on the plate and pretty pictures.
Yeah,
and,
a plate of leaves as you did it.
Or whatever it is, and some lump of fish which has still got this glistening skin on it. Oh, it puts me off, quite frankly.
Do you still get upset when you go into a restaurant and you charge 20 quid for a meal that's only worth £5, regardless of how rich you are? Does that still bother you?
Well, I think it doesn't matter how rich you are. No one likes being ripped off, okay? And so you won't find me going to places where I'm going to lead with my chin and get ripped off. I just won't go there. Not because I'm stingy. It's just that I just will not have it. I mean, I don't. No one should be ripped off, and I don't like some of these so-called high-class restaurants that make it hard to get in and play this game. Oh, sorry, you can't book. We're booked for 3 months. I mean, that's such a lot of nonsense that is these days. That old game is really it's wore itself out. But you get ordinary people that come from, say, the provinces or come down to London who have heard about certain restaurants and they look forward to it for the whole of the year, and they've actually got a reservation for it, and they're going to go in there and they're prepared to spend £200 or £300, and quite frankly they're wasting their money because it is not that great, if you know what I mean.
Very finally, before we go politically, we've got a new coalition. We've not had that before. Is this a good place to be?
Well, I would say watch this space, because I can't see this coalition lasting too long. I think if Gordon Brown and David Cameron, if you got them in a room on their own, or if their wives were laying next to them in bed at night and asked them, would you have done live TV interviews again? Both of them would have said no, because I think the live TV interview is what caused the mess that we're in at the moment. We have a coalition government where the Liberal Party were given airtime in the middle of a live television broadcast. They started making promises that they had no intention of fulfilling, because they thought they weren't going to get in, and they confused everybody so that we didn't have a majority one way or the other, Labour or Conservative. And now Clegg and people like Cable, I don't know what's hit them. They're like Leyton Orient playing in the Champions League. I mean, they found themselves sitting there and they're, oh, blimey, we did say that. Oh, yeah, we did say this, but we didn't mean it, actually. It's just a spoiling tactic, actually. We didn't really mean it. So I'll tell you, they've got to sort themselves out. Look, the recession, I think, people get themselves out of recession. They've got to realise that there's no free lunch culture out there, and once they've overcome that and get their heads down, get back working again, and you won't know when you're out of recession. You only know you're in a recession when you don't know you're in a boom. You never know you're in a boom. You only know when you was in a boom when you look back and say, oh, blimey, that was good. Look where we are today. So I think you have to work your way out of it. Lord
Sugar, has this been okay, me asking you questions? I mean, you're a very private man. Obviously, you've written the book, so you're prepared to talk about it. Would you rather not talk?
Sorry?
Would you rather not have to do this? I mean, in your dream world, is it okay talking about you? Because you are a private man, aren't you?
Well, relatively private, but I talk all day long. I go around the country and talk to people in schools. I talk to business people. I host Q&As every single week of the year. That's what I do to try and inspire people. So I've got a problem with people asking me questions.
Have I done all right? I don't want to disappoint you. I don't want you slagging me off to compliance or anything.
You've done all right. I'll make sure that you're not reported to the BBC compliance unit.
Apprentice starts tonight. Then is it going to be a good one?
very good. Like all products, you know, the longer you make them, the more experience you have in making them, the better they get. And I think you're going to see this as the best series so far.
It's been a great honour for me and a thrill as well. Lord Sugar's new book is out. It's called What You See Is What You Get. It's released £20. And thank you so much for coming on the programme. Really appreciate it.
Okay.